And then who will call 911?
New number.
It's 911.
Yeah.
One up from 811.
Yeah.
And then who will meet first responder?
Ma'am.
So, and then the severe weather assembly point, if you go out these doors, right between the two bathrooms. And then who will lead the evacuation?
Oh, Lucas. El Presidente.
And who will ensure all are evacuated?
So.
And then our active shooter protocol is run, hide, fight. Who will manage time?
We're not gonna be here that long. Yep.
Location of AED is go out this door right by the exit in the back. And who will retrieve it? I can do that. And who's qualified to perform CPR? And the closest medical facility is Wake Med, the address is 3000 Newbury Avenue. Phone number is 919-350-8000. That is it.
Cool. All right, well, thank you guys for coming. We got a small crowd today. So as Parrish said, it'll probably be a pretty quick one. We're gonna go around the room and introduce ourselves, but we're gonna start online first. So we got Michael Hooker. You wanna introduce yourself? Mike, are you there? Yeah. Oh. We'll go over to Mark Worth.
Good morning, Mark Worth, Enbridge Natural Gas, North Carolina.
Brian Morehouse.
Brian Morehouse, Director of Marketing for S&N Infrastructure.
All right. Billy Webster.
Billy Webster with Williams Cardinal Pipeline.
We got AJ Perkinson.
AJ Perkinson, Raleigh Survey Department Manager, DRMP.
We got Desmond Whitfield.
Desmond Whitfield, City of Raleigh.
All right. Then we got Fred Hawley. Are you there, Fred? Like put Fred and Mike together in the same. Yeah. All right. Then we got Parrish with NC 811. And I'm Lucas with LJ's Utility Services.
I'm Nellie with LJ's Utility Services.
Mike Alexanderson with Flagger Force.
Kara Moser from ITS.
Ian Foley, Paragon Safety.
Fort Bennett ITS, John Myers ITS.
JC Jimenez, Enbridge. Robert, ITS.
Larry, ITS.
Chris Brooks, ITS.
Brandon with Enbridge Gas.
Taylor with Enbridge Gas.
Brandon Daughtry, Raleigh Wood Locates.
James Dunaway, Raleigh Water Locations.
TJ Baldwin Special.
Dave Holder, City of Raleigh Transportation Maintenance.
Sharon Johnson, Enbridge Gas.
All right.
Trevor Green, Damage Prevention, Enbridge Gas.
All right. And then the fella signing in.
Oh, Nash Hardy, Hardy Landscape.
10-4. All right, so now we'll do the open floor, go around the room and see if we have any hot topics for the month, anything anyone wants to bring to the table or discuss. Well, I guess we'll go back to online. We'll start online. Hey, how you doing, Michael? Mr. Hooker?
Yep, all is well. Mike Hooker, County Carry, locates.
10-4. You have anything you want to discuss? Are you good?
Should be good for right now. Business as usual.
10-4. What about you, Mr. Worth?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Just that our tickets across the company have been running just about the same as the last year. No big increase or decrease we've seen anyplace. Damages are down a little bit, which we do appreciate. No call damages are up a little bit, which we don't appreciate. But that's all I have.
Brian Morehouse, you have anything you want to bring to the table?
Nothing that is real major or anything. I do want to let everyone know that S&N is now S&N Infrastructure and S&N Locating. We've dropped the communication, so you'll be seeing us branding ourselves a little differently. Still the same company, just two different divisions. If there's anything that I can help you with, even though I fall under infrastructure, please make sure that you reach out to me. If anybody's having problems with locates or any issues within our construction, reach out and I will try to put you in touch with whoever you need to talk with. Thank y'all again.
Billy Webster, you have anything?
Nothing from us today.
Okay. AJ Perkinson?
Thank you for the opportunity. I have nothing specific that needs discussing today.
Desmond?
No, nothing at this time.
All right, Lewis?
Good morning. I'm sure they're going to cover quite a bit during the NC 811 coverage, but to Mark's point, we are sending out letters on the no-call damagers, just courtesy letters. So I'm curious, Mark, if you can address if you see these are really new offenders, like different types of folks coming in, or are some of these even repeat folks? Have you been able to do any analysis on that? I'm just curious.
I'll look at that. Normally when I've looked back at it, it's no big group that's doing it. It's just a hit and miss thing, but I'll give it a look.
Okay, thank you. Other than that, we're waiting on the law to continue its journey through the House. The Senate bill crossed over. It's in a Operations Rules Committee at the moment, so we're waiting to see how long it takes to get from there. We're trying to make sure that the Senate bill is in parity with the House bill. So we've made that request. And other than that, we're just kind of standing by. And again, I'll let Parrish kind of cover what we got going on at NC 811. Thank you.
Awesome, okay. Colwyn?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Who do we call now when no one will take ownership of obvious facilities?
Can you elaborate a little?
Pedestal standing up with no identification, full wires.
Gotcha, okay.
Who do we call?
So there's no operator ID on the is it located first? Is it located?
There's too many telecommunication wires and there's nothing going to it.
So they're still not putting their operator ID on there, so you can't identify who owns the pedestal, and there's no identifying feature on the pedestal itself?
None.
That's the best thing since sliced bread. Whenever you're fighting damage claims, that's my biggest argument. Which one of them marks is yours?
There are 4 marks out there.
Right.
All orange. None of them, there's a pedestal up the road. 2 of the marks go into that pedestal. 2 of them are continuing on. There's another pedestal, power pole. That pedestal's full of wires and nobody's got a mark going to it. So there's 2 other marks out there that don't go to that pedestal. The other 2 marks go to the other pedestal on the other side of the driveway. Who do you call?
If you damage it.
No, who do you call to get it marked?
You said it was already marked. Who went
It's
to the
not
pedestal?
marked. There are no marks going into that pedestal. You got 2 pedestals, one on each side of the driveway. There's 4 marks. 2 of the marks go to the pedestal on one side of the driveway. 4 marks continue across the driveway and bypass the other pedestal.
On your positive response, what did it say? Everybody had located that had utilities in the area?
It indicated that.
It said they had located?
Everybody that responded said they had marked.
On your positive response?
Yes.
Could be abandoned cable. A lot of times those old copper cables, the twisted pairs, they're abandoned now.
How do I know that? How do I proceed with my work? How do I dig up the driveway and put in new pipe and all that stuff when all of those facilities, if they're not dead, have got to be moved? They're in the way of the expansion. The power pole's got to be moved. They're not moving the power pole because they can't figure out who owns it either.
If it's abandoned, they won't mark it. Sometimes you gotta get with the locator when they show up, meet with them on site.
Maybe they don't know.
Well, I mean, the only other thing you can do is you did your due diligence, right? You called your locator in, you waited 3 working days, you checked your positive response. Everybody said they located, go out there and you find that there is a particular utility that's not located. So you call your 3-hour in. Hey, I got a utility out here. I see the pedestal. There's no marks going to it. I'm not sure if it's abandoned or not. Can somebody please come back out and locate? If they still don't come out and locate it, right? That's the first line of defense, is a good, timely, accurate locate. If they still fail to do that, the law says you can do your work. You just need to dig with care. But you want it moved. It's in the way of your tile.
Power won't move their pole until that utility is identified.
All right, so get with me after this and we'll see if we can figure out who owns that utility. How about that?
There you go.
All right. Well, I don't have anything. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, guys, kind of related but not related. I'm a firefighter here in Wayne County. We just did our recent Q1 continuing medical education on the Wayne County protocols. And they've updated, I'm telling you all this because if something happens at one of your sites and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose with all sorts of sirens and ambulances and stuff, you'll know why. They've just reclassified any, and I know this really doesn't necessarily apply always to this group, but any fall greater than 10 feet is going to be classified as a trauma alert, and the cavalry's coming. So, how many trucks does the cavalry entail? I mean, if I call 911 right now and say a guy fell into a ditch, you're going to get at least two engines, a ladder truck. You tell them you're going to get the district chief from EMS, you're going to get a paramedic unit. You tell them two guys, one guy fell, another guy went in after him. That's double patience, double that call. And I'm not saying that to dissuade you from calling if you need to call. I'm just saying a lot of times we see, somebody will call, like, wasn't that big of a deal. Holy shit, where did all these people come from? That's why. So when we see that, like when they give us this Con Ed, now it's fresh in everybody's mind. Now, if a captain on the fire truck shows up, maybe it was just a single unit response, but then he sees you guys had a ditch going. He says, oh, he fell down that ditch. It's at the top of his mind to call that alert, because he doesn't want to get yelled at for not doing it the right way. So just a little 2 cents for Wake County.
Absolutely, okay. Justice, you snuck in there, man. What you got?
Well, that's good to know. I don't have much. They covered it. The law is get ready to change. Yeah. As soon as we get that done, that'll be a good thing put to bed.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And at least we'll know how to go forward in lockstep for the next 2 or 3 years. And I think it's a good thing. It's got a lot of good, got a lot of good remedies in it. Wow, so the cavalry's coming. Good.
Yes.
Wow. Okey doke, we'll pass that along.
What about you, sir? Right here. You got anything? Nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Whoever, if you didn't make a conference a week or so ago, you missed a great conference, the North Carolina, South Carolina 811 conference. Probably, I've been going for 30 years, probably the best one we ever had.
Yeah, it's good.
It was a very good conference.
I don't have nothing. Okay.
I'm good.
Good. Nothing? Good? Okay. How about you, sir? I'm good. Good, good. Brandon? Good?
Lucas, I got something.
Oh, yeah. Just a reminder for your guys, for any of your contractors, if they're going to be calling their own tickets, please make sure that you remind them to add on that ticket if they're going to be subbing it out to somebody, to have that sub on that ticket. Okay. Sometimes we've run into recently some issues in trying to contact the right company for where the damage is at. We find the damage, we get called, we go out there, the excavator's already left, and the person that's on the ticket isn't who did the work, evidently. So just make sure your subs know if they're going to sub it out themselves, if they're calling in the ticket, whoever's doing the work, we want their name on that ticket as well. That helps the bill going to the right place and everybody getting contact that needs to.
Understood, okay. Miss Sandra, you have anything?
No, that like Court said, we had an awesome conference in Rockville Beach. I'm hoping in 2027 that they'll consider that location again. We had 41 vendors plus, and I would say over 300 people, and some great speakers. So it was pretty awesome. I've been doing this since 1995, and it's went real smooth, and we had just an awesome crowd.
Absolutely, yep. Well, Parrish, I think we can turn it on over.
All right, thanks, sir. So welcome to the Wake UCC from May. All this rain is obviously continuing with what April brought. A lot of stuff in bloom. Hopefully you're not allergic to a lot of the stuff. So the North Carolina Locate Resolution Partnership Committee did not meet. If you were looking for that, just be advised that it's did not meet, and look forward to the future going on. Again, that's a great place where you can voice your concerns of locates in the field. Underground Damage Prevention Review Board, June the 4th. I know Miss Ann, who is a participant on there, is actually on our meeting. She popped in a little bit late. She's actually going over the cases. That's going to take place June the 4th at our event center, 5009 High Point Road, and the proceedings start at 8:30. Ann, would you like to chime in on this one?
Sure. Thank you, Parrish. So yes, we do have an upcoming review board meeting. This is what we consider an interim meeting. I think the bulk of the members will be online virtually, but I will have the event center open and there if anyone wants to attend in person. The plan is to hear about 100 cases, and we should probably cut it off at about 100, and then we'll hear probably another 100 cases in July. So yeah, the phone number is on the web page, and you can join in and you can listen to that meeting as well. Thanks, Parrish.
Great point. If you can't physically be there to watch the proceedings, you can always call in via the phone and then listen to them. The NC811 board meeting is going to take place July the 18th, and that's going to be at Crown Plaza Resort. Again, 8:30. Something must be good time for 8:30 stuff. Get up, get moving, get your chow in, and make sure that you're ready for the event. And that's going to take place in Asheville, North Carolina, for those folks who are planning to attend. Going justice?
Absolutely.
Outstanding. So hopefully everybody knew last month was Safe Digging Month. We gave out the banners prior to that, and then we continued giving out. I gave my last banners out last week. Even though it is past the highlighted April Safe Digging Month, we consider every day to be Safe Digging Day, right? So if you do have these, make sure that you are displaying them in a high volume, high traffic area, and that you did scan the QR code on the bottom right so we can kind of keep track of those to see how many eyes are actually looking at those. This is the group, the North Carolina Department of Labor, Mr. Luke Farley, Representative Jeff Zinger, and Jake Populin, Chair of the Underground Damage Prevention Review Board, signed the governor's proclamation highlighting Safe Digging Month, and that is actually at our NC811 Event Center. If you've been there in the past, we had some brick pavers that was giving us problems. They ripped them all up. You can see everybody is standing on some beautiful new concrete out there. Yep, looks good. As always, the calendar event, scan the QR code, it'll take you to the 811 website, and you can check us out on the 811 event calendar or the NC UCC event calendar to see what's going on within the NC 811 world. So with spring getting ready to come up, baseball's happening. We're going to be attending a lot of games. The Durham Bulls, I know this is not the area, but Winston-Salem Dash and then the Greensboro Grasshoppers will be going to those events and displaying the 811 paraphernalia. So looking at the cross state North Carolina, you can see 268,000 compared to April of last year is a 8.9% increase in ticket volume. Year to date, 998,000 is an 8.5% increase over this time last year. Transmissions for April, 1.4 million is this shy of 6% increase over April of last year. And year to date, 5.3 million transmissions sent out to members to go locate. So the volume is picking up. And again, a lot of it is attributed to the fiber overbuild going on across the state of North Carolina, still continuing. So if we look at the volume compared to last month compared to April 24, you can see the 3 hour actually decreased almost 34%. New tickets, this less than 1% increase. And the ticket update, everybody give yourself a hand, especially if you're a project manager here, you're not updating tickets that are actually being worked and you're only updating tickets that you are actually working. So thank you. Almost a 3% decrease in the tickets, still up 9,270, but less than it was April of last year. Average locations per day still blows my mind. Y'all have this many locations. 1,404 is the average. And I'm glad I'm not a locator in Wake. So year to date, the 3 hour, even though it was down last month, year to date is actually up 5%. New tickets, this shy of 4% increase, and the ticket update, 6.2% increase over this time last year. Average locations per day, 1,432. So if we look at the distribution of 29,488, obviously Raleigh comes out on top, but it's still Apex, Cary, Peachwave Arena, Garner, Holly Springs, Knightdale. I don't think we've had this number before, these high spread out evenly across here. Wake, Wendell, some of your top contributors. And everybody's favorite top 10 caller, ITS. Thank you guys for being here today. If you're here today, you're not calling in tickets, right? No, I'm just kidding. So you guys, say again?
I'm texting him all the time.
Texting him right as we speak. He's doing single address tickets, folks. Yeah, so ITS, thank you for being here. I see Southeast Connections is doing a whole lot more in the area than they used to. They made a list. Any questions or comments about the top 10?
Again, with ITSO, it's Google, it's Spectrum, it's Charter, Verizon.
Right, multiple jobs.
Yes, it's Wake Electric, above, below ground, Enbridge. I mean,
You're putting in gas and telecom? Yeah.
Yeah, we do it all.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you. And the best locator in the world. And we're going to go over the damages. So Wake had 208 damages that were called in to 811 last month.
The most important thing, where's Mecklenburg?
Don't look at them. They're 169. I think they're underreporting. Right? They know there's a competition, and they're just not calling their damages in anymore.
We'll hear about that tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
they're not calling them in. So, yeah. Even though we had a high volume, the ticket volume here is such that you guys actually ended up in the yellow. Damages per 1,000 transmissions, you ended up in the yellow. But MEC is in the yellow as well. So damages across the state of North Carolina, as you can see, we only had 1 month that was actually down. I thought January took off, and I thought when we got February, maybe we're starting to do something right. But then March, April continued to climb. trending in the wrong direction. So please be safe out there and when you're digging around utilities. And again, the Underground Damage Prevention Review Board, so they had 81 cases on their agenda when they met 4/23. They issued 64 Hype Plus trainings, and they had $38,500 in fines issued. So year to date, they've collected $56,000 in fines. There's a good-looking education team led by Miss Ann Rushing. And they put on suits that day. I thank you for your time and attention. A copy of this presentation, along with your signature of the sign-in roster, right? And then the folks online, hopefully they had a chance to sign in, so we can capture them as being present for this. Be uploaded to the UCC website. Your viewing pleasure. All right, barring any questions or comments, sir, that's all I have.
All right. Well, if nobody else has anything, then I think we can conclude.
So lunch. So we don't have lunch today. We have heavy hors d'oeuvres over there. They're all fat-free. Thank you for Enbridge for providing those, the drinks and the snacks. But to be serious, we do need somebody. If you enjoy the lunches when you attend, if somebody would like to pick up the tab for next month, nobody's going to fight you for it. And next month's going to be June the 24th. If Enbridge will be so kind as to host us again. Anybody? If you don't want to say something now, if you want to call me or Sandra or even Lucas between now and June 24th, feel free to do so. Our name and numbers on the sign-in roster over there. All right. Everybody online good? All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, doing good. Can't complain.